Hello, my dear, and welcome to our 5 minutes with Ekaterina war vlog about Dnipro, the central Ukraine. These 2 weeks were very difficult, and my mood now is very low. And it started on the night from 25th to 26th of October, when there were multiple explosions around the city, and some of the bombs they ruined residential buildings, and people died in their sleep. It was the night time, obviously everybody was at home, but also one of the bombs hit the territory of the biggest hospital in the city. It is a civilian hospital and it's huge, and this was very painful because that's a place where everyone has been at least once. Despite it's a regional hospital, it's so big and so good that everybody in the city itself also at least once in their life went there for some kind of the services. And I've been there multiple times. I treated different things there. I was diagnosed there. They have very good diagnostic system, and it is just simply the best and the biggest facility. It was very uh, kind of heartbreaking to see that there was an operation room and there was an operation happening, and the windows were broken, and the windows a little bit hurt the doctor, and thankfully the patient was okay. And then the second day they just loaded the videos that this doctor sent to his wife, saying that he is okay. And at that moment on this video there was still a patient on the operation table under this narcosis, and patient didn't know anything, didn't realize what danger just happened. And you see all this glass everywhere, this operation room totally devastated, and this doctor saying that don't worry, I'm okay, I'm alive and not harmed. And in the news we saw that actually the glass was in his back, and it was not serious, but it was still, he was still wounded. So there were more than 400 windows in the hospital that were broken. You can imagine the scale of this destruction. According to the news, people did not die in the hospital itself. Probably the bomb landed somewhere very close, but not in the building itself. And it was a miracle there. But the miracle didn't happen in another place, and the rocket literally hit the two-story residential building with a few apartments there. People died there. A child died, and I was reading this news in the morning, and it was totally depressive, and it was just impossible to believe. And the worst thing is that the bombs were directed to these places. Specifically, they were directed to the hospital, the same way as they were directed to the Ahmadid Children's Hospital 1 year earlier, or like a little bit earlier, not 1 year even, it happened this year, sorry. So it's the same psychological attack just to make everybody upset, and it works. Everybody is upset. I was totally devastated. I didn't know um, what to do. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do my normal routine. I didn't want to work, and the mood started to be very low since then. Also, during these weeks, every day we see on the deep state map that a few villages would be taken by Russians, and Russians are advancing very fast. And there are multiple reasons to this. The first and very depressing one is that we don't have enough weapons still. It is 3 years of the war almost, and we still don't have enough weapons. And we still find the microchips, we still find the details from the NATO alliance found in North Korean rockets that are used by Russians in order to kill us. So sanctions are not working very well in this regard, and the Western alliance, they not only sell the parts to be used in the Russian rockets, but also they don't give us enough rockets and enough weapons to defend ourselves. Of course, that doesn't help, and we are losing. The other reasons is that people are very tired, soldiers are very tired, we don't have enough soldiers, we don't have enough people in Ukraine even, and that's also when we need to outmatch the numbers of Russians who fight with the help now of North Koreans, but also we have a lot of people from Nepal who are fighting for Russians, a lot of people from Sri Lanka fighting for Russians, that are two big war prisoners groups that are now in Ukraine and that are waiting for the exchange if it's possible, because according to the international law, if you're a mercenary, you should not be exchanged as a war prisoner. So I don't know what is going to happen with them. And people from these countries, they are outnumbering us. It's three countries, at least three countries fighting against us on the battlefield, and we don't have any NATO soldiers, or we have a small group of people who fight in the international region, but it doesn't seize the day. Obviously, we cannot outnumber these densely populated countries. That brings people again in this uncertain place, how far Russians can move. And I told you that I'm waiting for the rains. Rains didn't start. It's a very dry autumn, very beautiful one. The leaves are very beautiful. The weather is cool. It is starting to get cold as well. In the evening today, it was +3 degrees. But it's still it's cold. It's not winter obviously, but it's getting to the winter. And also today we have the heating in the apartments. If you have a central heating, my mom has a central heating, for example, so she has her heating on and she's very happy about it because it's warm in her apartment. My apartment is heated with the help of the electricity, so I'm turning it on and off. I'm less dependent on this central heating, but I'm super dependent on the electricity. For these 2 weeks, there were no blackouts. The electricity was there all the time. But since this heating season starts and a lot of people will turn on the heating devices, they say that it's very possible that starting from the next week and following week, we will have blackouts again. That's the main updates, that's the main situation there. Again, it's very difficult to see how Russians are advancing. It's very difficult to believe that we cannot even defend the place where we are. We are not talking about the fighting back. We are just saying that we need to stand. And regretfully, in one place, Russians are now only 11 kilometers from our region. I mean, the Russian trenches. And in another place, it's 20 kilometers, while few weeks ago it was 26, so they moved this 6 kilometers very fast. It's very difficult to realize that it is happening, and the possibility of this small caliber shelling and the possibility of the occupation is actually not something distant and not something that we would say never happened. That's it. That's the update. Thank you very much for your help. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting Ukrainian army. If you can donate, please do it. It will help us fighting. And of course, your moral support is something that helps me personally and helps a lot of us. Don't forget about Ukraine. Talk to your friends about it. Don't let politicians forget about the situation and try to press them not to sell weapons or the parts that Russians use in weapons to kill us. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to meet you very soon under much better circumstances. Goodbye for now.